Greetings, alcoholic audio engineer, coming to you from a new morning in lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. And I'm making this video in order to explain what it is I'm doing here and hopefully to encourage more people to kind of get past the deterrent, I suppose, of long format videos, which is mainly what I do here. So get to the short and skinny here. What I'm trying to do with this channel is to teach audio production skills, home audio recording, mixing, and mastering, and to some extent video production. Especially with an emphasis on using this as a hobby to help people who are having issues with substance abuse, alcohol cessation, and perhaps that's what I dealt with. I had an alcoholism problem, and it was this hobby that finally helped me turn the corner and get alcohol out of my life, get that vampire out of my abode, and get on with my life. And so I guess I just want to get into some of the details and specifics of that as a line of reasoning that these skills, home audio production skills, and taking this on as a hobby, how that can be useful and helpful to you if you are trying to overcome an addiction, whether it be to alcohol or to, perhaps other substances. I'm not any kind of expert when it comes to alcohol cessation. I don't offer medical advice or any advice in any official capacity. All I have to offer is what worked for me. So I didn't want to start a YouTube channel because I knew that my way of doing things, it doesn't really fit the YouTube vibe, which seems to me to be about brevity for one thing, and there's just a lot of jump cut production, and the skills that I attempt to teach are, you could, it's all out there. It's not like I'm bringing anything new to the table in terms of basic skills, but it's like those skills are often broken down into like 10-minute chunks in isolation from one another. Whereas to me, it's better to learn this skill set by participating in a workflow, like a real-time project environment. And so there are some issues that people deal with when they are going through alcohol cessation. I'm just going to focus on alcohol cessation because that's what I know. Okay, for one thing, a lot of people who are trying to get alcohol out of their lives, they deal with insomnia, they deal with sleep disorder, and it's really tough because no matter what you do, you toss and you turn, you can't sleep. The three-ring circus is going on in your head. So what do? You can't drink. The temptation is always there. Well, what I did was I pulled many an all-nighter, tracking, recording, mixing, audio. That's what got me through many a long night, many a long and sleepless night. And it enabled me to work myself into an exhaustion where I could, get a few hours of sleep in the morning, catch a nap, and be able to get up and do my day. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, finally, I'm kind of like getting more into a natural sleep cycle. But so there's that. There's also the fact that, and this gets into neurochemistry and stuff that I'm by no means an expert in. But one thing that alcohol does to you, especially if you've been abusing it for years or even decades, as was the case with me, it hijacks your dopamine pathways, your serotonin pathways. For example, dopamine is the little hit of satisfaction that you get from accomplishing something. Short-term goal accomplishment, things like that. And when you got an alcohol problem, a real alcohol problem, alcohol does that. Alcohol provides your dopamine hit. Alcohol provides your serotonin hits, and alcohol doesn't like you getting those hits from any other source but alcohol. Okay, and so people who are trying to kick the addiction, it creates a void, and you got to fill it somehow. I think that a lot of people, maybe most people, for various reasons, they're not able to fill that void right away with prayer or meditation or yoga or what have you, spiritual practices. The neurochemical needs and demands are far more pressing and palpable. They're just right. It's just right in your face. And sitting down to meditate or even prayer. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. Prayer is definitely a necessary part of it, but you need something to do, especially for hours at a time. This is something you can do. And, unlike playing, solitaire or Candy Crush, or, any number of other ways that you can kill that time, when you invest that time into learning a new skill set, it rebuilds those dopamine reward pathways, and it reestablishes. So it takes time, okay? Sometimes you got to force yourself to. You got to have some willpower. You got to be willing to. You've got to be willing to say no to the alcohol vampire, which is what I call it. I call it the alcohol vampire. When it comes tapping at the door, you've got to be willing to deadbolt the door and go sit down at your audio workstation and roll up your sleeves and sit down and just learn something and try it and practice it. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, the better it gets. And the cool thing about it is that once you've been at it for just not even too long, once you've been at it for a little while, you have something to show for it. It may not be much, okay? It's not going to win a Grammy, but that's not what this is about. There are some psychological pitfalls to this as well, but I'll get into that later. But if you could just focus on your bedroom or your living room or your washroom or whatever you choose to turn into your space for this hobby, focus on that. Focus on kind of like wading into the stream or jumping into the pool, as it were. Just get yourself into it. At the end, you come up with a mix down. You've got a WAV file. You've got an MP3 file that you produced. You concocted it. You made it. You can load it onto your phone. You can take it down to your car and get out on the highway and see how it sounds while you're rolling down the highway. Just opens up all kinds of, it opens up creative possibilities for you. It gives you something to do. And, on the way to, so let's say like, let's say that you set like a real reasonable goal of just recording a song. It could be a song that you wrote, came up with. It could be a cover of a song that you like. And you're just going to sit down and do your own version of it. Maybe all you can do is just bang out some cowboy chords on an acoustic guitar. That's enough. Maybe you know a few chords on a keyboard. That's enough. It doesn't take a whole lot. And even if you don't know a few cowboy chords on a guitar, you can get on YouTube and you can learn it. It's not that difficult. Apply yourself a little bit. If you feel you can't sing, don't worry about it. Lots of people who couldn't sing became famous singers. You can talk your lyrics. You can bark them. You can snarl them. Don't worry about how technically good you are or are not. That's not the point. The point is you apply yourself to the process. You pick up skills along the way. You solve short-term problems along the way. There are, shorter-term goals and shorter-term goals and longer-term goals. And like, let's say that the medium-term goal is to finish, a basic song with a acoustic guitar and your vocal, and maybe a backup vocal. And you mix it down, and you've got an audio track that you made. And along the way, you learn some skills. You figured out some issues. You solved some problems, and all along the way, you're rewiring your brain to get its dopamine hits and its serotonin flushes from real life, and something that's not booze or something that's not a substance that's messing up your life in some way. And so, me personally, I find it real frustrating to try to learn a new skill set piecemeal. 10 minutes here and 5 minutes there and 3 minutes there and 12 minutes there. And that's not the way real life works. It's kind of like textbook learning as opposed to an apprenticeship. Skills don't work discreetly from each other. They flow together. So for an example, like you might watch a video on compression, more specifically like compressing a vocal. But real life situation, you've got an arrangement, you're working on a song, and there are places, let's say in the chorus, where the main vocal is just not cutting through. And so there are several different ways to approach that. You might, if you haven't already, you might add a compressor to the vocal track. You might kind of double down on the compression, tweak the compression. You might use a different kind of compressor, like a multi-band masking compressor. You might EQ it differently. You might use plug-in automation to, apply to change the EQ for that spot where the vocal is not cutting through. But almost always there's like an optimal solution, and there are suboptimal solutions. And that comes with experience. So discerning the best approach to solving a particular problem, it requires experience and a combination of different skills that you might learn from different places. So what I try to do here is just kind of provide an environment where, number one, if you're trying to you're struggling with alcohol cessation, and you're particularly also dealing with sleep disorder and insomnia, well, here's some long format videos where you can sit down for an hour and 20, hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes, sometimes even longer, and kind of like sit in my studio and hang out and just like see how it's done real time. It kills time, and I think it's a more efficient way of learning overall. Yeah, so that's what I'm about here. And it occurred to me that I hadn't sat down and made a video like this that just explains, my rationale for my reasons for what I'm doing, and my rationale for the way in which I'm doing it. And then just to title it something specific that, just so maybe to catch your attention if you're struggling with alcohol cessation and you're looking for something to fill that void. Maybe this is for you, maybe not, but I'm here to provide it as a resource if it's possibly your thing, right? So anyway, this is my studio space. It's not much, but now, see, here's another thing. You start getting into this, and you look around on YouTube, and you're going to get all kinds of you'll see all kinds of home studios. Some of them are really tricked out with really expensive equipment and all kinds of bells and whistles, and yeah, don't ever let that get to you. Really, you don't need very much at all to start out, and even to do good quality work, the most important thing is not what you have, it's knowing how to work with it, knowing what to do with it, and knowing how to work with it, how to optimize what you have. And so if all you have is a reasonably recent computer with a reasonably decent sound card, and I would say the minimum nowadays is at least a plug and play USB microphone. But those aren't too costly nowadays, and you don't need something super high spec, especially to get started. I recently put up a video about choosing your first USB microphone. That's really all you need to start is a decent computer and a USB microphone. Plug and play USB microphone. I've got two. This is, and I did a video about, well, I just mentioned that video. So I talked about both of these microphones. Right now I have this one set up to record this speaker, which is the output from my amplifier, which is amplifying my pedal board and my other, this is my audio interface. This is my pedal board, my amplifier, speaker cabinet. Sometimes I like to track, guitar tracks through my amp and my speaker sometimes, just for reasons. But sometimes directly from the audio interface into the sound card, into my DAW. But again, a lot of people have like an old Banger acoustic guitar lying around. That's enough. Computer, USB mic, acoustic guitar. I show you how to start up, real minimal with, virtually no startup cost. So, and I've got one I call it Building a Song tutorial series. I've got one that's been finished. I will link that in the description, as they say, and it'll also appear at the end of this video on the screen at the end. It's called Building a Song in Cakewalk, Gorilla in the Corner of the Room. I didn't do a great job with that tutorial series, but is my first rodeo, and I'm about to start a new tutorial series on building a song in Cakewalk, and this time we're going to do a Tom Petty song that I think is really good to have it on your soundtrack for alcohol cessation. A little song he did called "I Won't Back Down." And so, but anyways, I guess I'm not going to let this go on too long, but just to give you an idea of, and some people will say, where's your monitor speakers? Yeah, here and here, I should have monitor speakers. The fact is that I've got windows behind my workstation here, and that's not a good place for monitor speakers. I've got another smaller room with monitoring speakers in a better environment for that purpose. But I do use the monitor speakers for monitoring. You don't always want to monitor things on monitoring speakers, but that's another topic. It's important to listen to your mixes through all kinds of speakers and all kinds of headphones and other devices. Anyway, just to give you an idea, I'm just one guy in Paju City, South Korea, doing all this on my own by myself with pretty minimal setup. But this is a video that I recently uploaded to my channel. I think out of all the videos I uploaded, it has the most views. It's a song I wrote about 10 years ago when I was really down and out and in terrible circumstances. And I just recently pulled it out and recorded it. And this is what the video looks like. I'll just play through like the first part of it, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the digital audio workstation that I work with called Cakewalk. And just to give you an idea, what you can look forward to learning. So let me see. There. It's this guitar that you hear through this audio interface. So, that video got, my channel is still new and small, but that video has gotten upwards of maybe 675 views by now, which is, pretty good for how new and small my channel is. And I think it's because, I think it sounds pretty cool. And this is what it looks like. So if you choose to take on this hobby, this learning curve, and it's not that I'm especially gifted or talented or anything, certainly not as a musician. I mean, I would say that my strong suit is lyrics and songwriting. I'm not terribly good at playing instruments. I'm not a very good singer. I just kind of get by with a lot of determination, and I've got to play things dozens of times to get them right. Guitar solos take me forever, but but I manage. I make it work, and this is what the Cakewalk user interface looks like. And this mix is not huge. It's 13 tracks. If you have any experience with Photoshop, this is kind of like layers in Photoshop. If you're totally new to audio, that's what this is like. If as an analogy. And so, for example, if I call this drums and trim. So this is kind of like my foundational track, right? And if I solo that, you just hear that by itself. And go up here. And then the rhythm guitar kicks in right here. Hang on. So there's the rhythm guitar and the bass. Right? And bass and rhythm guitar. This rhythm guitar. And I'll just add in the parts. I don't want to go to the console view right now, just because right now it's in the so. I'll go back to the main vocal. And solos. Right? This is console view. I could solo in more things. An acoustic guitar part and a gong. To show you what that gong is doing, let me unsolo all these and hang on. So this is console view. This just gives you a different view of all your tracks, gives you a kind of different modality of, it's a different way to edit. Sometimes you want to be in console view, not edit, but different way to level and mix and all that. Sometimes you want to be in console view. This is track view. Sometimes you want to be in track view. Here's that gong right here. It's a gong that I picked up in Hanoi, Vietnam, one time back deep in my substance abuse days. And just happens to be happens to have been in the right key for this song. But I used that gong sound to do this. What I'm going to do is just kind of solo it in and out. And I use it to kind of like make the sound of, to me, it sounds kind of like three women standing around a microphone going, ooh, here's what that sounds like. So you solo it. And this is what the waveforms look like for that gong. I called it Vietnam gong. So. So listen for it now. Right. So, see, the other thing that I want to stress is that a lot of this is DIY, especially in the Building a Song series. All the percussion is DIY. In this song, I used the drum machine in this audio interface, but you don't need that starting out. For example, nowadays, if I want to do a kick drum, I use this suitcase right here, and I use this this Korean gong mallet. That's a DIY kick drum. Just add some EQ plugins, we call them. You know, EQ compression tools that I show you how to use for a snare. If I want a DIY snare, I'll use this. Banging the camera there. I'll use this $10 plastic IKEA chair with this. This is the Vietnamese gong mallet. It's a rubber tip, and I'll just hold it like this, and it's like a dry snare head. But again, plugins, EQ, tools that are freely available. And that's the other thing I want to stress is, you know, you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on plugins and other software tools, or you can get them for absolutely free. Cakewalk, the digital audio workstation, is absolutely free, and it has more than you could ever need as a hobbyist. And I would even argue that, I'm not going to say that it's professional quality, but it's damn close. You know, it's very fully featured DAW, and it's got a very intuitive user interface, very conducive to beginners, to learning. I really like it, and I've used a number of different DAWs, and for me, Cakewalk is hands down the best in terms of intuitiveness. It's really not hard to learn. So anyway, that's what I'm doing here. I'm not here for the clicks. I'm not here to get 1 million subs. I'm not here to get a YouTube plaque on my wall, obviously. Certainly not here to make money. And I don't particularly like being on camera or putting my stuff out for public consumption. This is something that I do for my own edification, and to keep myself from that booze vampire still comes calling on the regular. And this really does help. I still haven't relapsed. I haven't fallen off the wagon, as they say, although for me, I don't see it as a wagon. I see it as a interstellar starship. And if I fall off the starship, I'll explode and turn inside out like a sausage left in the microwave too long, and float for eternity in the voids of interstellar space. This is why I'm here. This is why I do what I do. I'm just hoping that even if it reaches a handful of people who might benefit from it, if that's the case, then it's worth the effort and all that. And also, I do hope to make a few friends along the way. I've already made acquaintance with one other guy, also who overcame an alcohol problem, I think, and I really like his work, and so now we talk back and forth, and we're talking about some collaboration at some point, and that's awesome too. It seems to me nowadays, it seems like the more interconnected we get virtually, the more, I don't know, the more shallow the interaction becomes. So yeah, again, I'm hoping to actually connect with some people along the way, where we can compare notes and share each other's mixes, offer constructive criticism, feedback, and encouragement. And yeah, and possible, collaboration. That's fun too. So, and again, all within. Now, this brings me to my last point. If you made it this far, then this is for you anyway. And so I'm not going on too long. What was my point? Well, it was, yeah, well, anyways, just blipped. Yeah, anyway, this is all good fun, and you can really get into it, and I view this as a way to not just white knuckle your way into sobriety, but to do it. I view it as a healing path. It's not just a Band-Aid. It's a path of healing. It's healing the damage that alcohol and substance abuse and addiction has done to your brain. This is not in exclusion to a spiritual path, but it's definitely something that can be, and it's not like the this kind of creative path of song producing and whatnot is separate from that spiritual growth. They kind of go together for me. But definitely, I think that on a on a physiological level, this hobby, this activity, is healing. I'll just say that me personally, it's helped me to heal the brain fog, the short-term memory issues. It's helped with a lot of things, and so if it helped me, it's not like I'm special. It's not like I'm exceptional in any way. If it helped me, then it can help others, and that's why I call it the still small voice. Kind of kept pestering me to start up a YouTube channel and to do this, even though I wasn't really inclined to do it, but I did. All right, so yeah, that's it for now. If I piqued your interest and you feel like this is something that you might be into, please check out my channel, subscribe, and if you want to roll up your sleeves and start learning how to do this, go to playlists. I mean, the link, again, is in the description and at the end of this video, but it's also in the playlists section of the channel, Building a Song, Gorilla in the Corner of the Room. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best. And if you decide to get into this, I hope to hear from you. Please leave me a comment. If I don't reply, it means I didn't get the notification, but if I do see the comment, I will reply right away. Okay, that's it for now. Alcoholic audio engineer from lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. Over and out.